In this video, we will be going over Scatterplot Classwork number 1. Now, we did the previous slides together in our Zoom meeting, and this was supposed to be your homework. If you struggled with it, make sure that you are contacting me so we can go over it. It says a history teacher asks her students how many hours of sleep they had before a test. The data below shows the number of hours the student slept and their score on the exam. On the next slide, we will transfer the data table to create a trend line, or a line of best fit for the data, to help the teacher make a correlation between the number of hours a student slept and their test scores. So I recommend taking a picture or just going back and forth because you're going to be transferring this data table to slide number 17. Now when you get to slide number 17, do not delete the table. You want to write down every single data point, even if it repeats, because we're just transferring the data. Now, I also recommend you double check the numbers that you enter. Because one small mistake will lead to incorrect data. I'm going to recheck 8, 2 7s, 8, 6, 5, 7, 4, 9, 7, 83, 86, 74, 88, 76, 63. Okay. Notice that the trend line or the line of best fit graphed, but you don't see any points. If you notice over on the x's, the smallest x is 4, and then the biggest x is 9. So we actually have to scroll over here, but then look at the y values. The y values are not from 0 to 6. They're like 63 to 90. So we're going to have to scroll up to see the data points because it's out of our view. Once you see the data points, you just want to kind of keep that there. And then notice right here, we are using decimals because it is the equation's already there. So I recommend taking a picture of the data. The only data you do not need is the r squared. You're not going to use that till college. We want the r, which is the correlation coefficient, and we want the m, and we want the b. Now we're going to go to slide 18. It says, what is the trend line? So remember, we need y equals mx plus b, and that previous screen gave us the m of 6.37755 and gave us the b of 35.6327. So we're just going to write y equals, I want to the nearest hundredth, so we have to look at this 7. It's bigger than 5, so I'm going to round up. So it's 6.38. Don't forget the x value. Now this is a 2, so I'm just going to do 35.63, and then that is our equation. Now in the same location, if you go back to the grid before, our R value is shown. Our R value is 0.8832. And this is where I got my M, this is where I got my B. So you're allowed to go back and forth. So when I switched screens, it erased. But my trend line, we said, was y equals 0.38x plus 35.63, and then the R value was 0.88. Now what is the correlation? Notice that this is a positive number. If we drew that number line, this is a positive 1, 0, negative 1. 0.88 is very close to 1, so that is strong. And since it's a positive correlation. So it's a strong positive correlation because 0.88 is very close to 1, and that's in the strong positive range. And of course you can word it differently, but as long as you use the word strong and positive, it will be fine enough for me. Now for this question it says, if a student scored 90 on his test, how many hours did he sleep before? The hint was to use the table. So you want to go back to slide 16. We're looking for a score of 90, which is right here. So how many hours did that student sleep? It was 7. Now, if a student slept 10 hours, how much would he score on the test? Now, we want to use the trend line. So this is from the previous slide. So our equation is 6.38x plus 35.63. So we're going to plug in 10, and we're just going to use the calculator. So we're just going to plug in 6.38 parentheses 10, close the parentheses, plus 35.63. And you can just write the student will score around 99 on the test. Because we got 99.43. So you can say 99.43, or you could just round it. Alright, lastly, this was just a multiple choice. As the age of the car increases, the value is decreasing. So graph C would represent that trend. So remember, whenever you have an item increasing and another item decreasing, it has to be a negative correlation. And C was the only one that was a negative correlation.